So my last 9 years of working at jobs and everything, I realized is that most of these jobs are kind of underpaid no matter what. And I remember when I was younger thinking that like I had to work for some company I love in order to avoid like quote unquote working. But at the end of the day, man, it doesn't matter. And I used to think like working a lot of jobs, man, like it doesn't matter if it's entry level at this point. Like every job just does not get paid enough. I'll never forget my first job at CC's Pizza, right? Like I worked at CC's Pizza getting paid $7.75 an hour. And I used to think I was getting paid a lot back in the day and everything. And I only lasted there a month and a half because I actually did not like the job because my mom actually made me apply for it when I was younger, right? And I gotta say, it did teach me a lot of shit. Even though I really hated the job, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Like, yeah, cleaned up the tables and everything when I was like first, that was my first job, kind of sucked. But that wasn't even the crappy part. It was the crappy, crazy manager, right? And my manager was actually very sexist and messed up, right? It gave me a taste of how a toxic manager can really make or break the workplace. This guy was also very creepy. He was like in his late like 50s and shit, and he actually hit on a bunch of like high school girls and everything because he would hire a lot of pretty girls and try to hire them for a higher wage than and then keep all the like dudes and everything fucking at a lower wage, and then treat them like crap. And it was very like it's like a switch. It was very like hot and cold, and he would always like rush everybody no matter what. And it was the most infuriating shit because there's times where I'd try to go as best as I can, and I'd just get fucking verbally abused by my manager at the time, and it was God easily one of the first jobs I've ever had. And I don't know why I thought I was getting paid a whole lot, dude. I guess I was just very naive because it was my first time making money and I was 18 or whatever. But there was another time too. I used to think that when I was like, 19, working at the grocery store at Hy-Vee, thinking that if I make up to 11 bucks an hour, I'd be making a lot. But in reality, it really isn't shit. And this was way before inflation and everything went up because this took place back in like 2017. And I'll never forget my first paycheck getting like a whopping $220, thinking that, ooh, this is a lot of money because at my first job at CC's Pizza, I was making a whopping $190 every 2 weeks of like 25 hours a week of work or more. I ain't gonna lie, looking back, that shit is a huge scam. And the funniest part is, before I even started working and everything, for the longest time, I wanted to be a YouTube channel because I remember when I was younger, I wanted to become a YouTuber to kind of grow a gaming channel or some kind, just to, be able to make a lot of money and everything and not ever have a job. Because this is when I was very little. I was like, like 13, 14, 15. But then I realized that I was wanting to work for myself the whole time and shit like that. And that's when I realized that working a job in the long run just wasn't for me. But now, like, I obviously have a decent work ethic. I don't mind working a job now, realistically, while doing YouTube and stuff on the side. But looking back, man, it's just kind of funny and crazy to look back that I really did not want to work for someone even as young as that age. Like, man, a lot of people would not be thinking like that around that age because all of them would want to be playing video games and shit. And I still was doing that, but it's just kind of crazy. I remember telling my mom about this and shit, and she was like laughing about it, telling me that, oh, this will never happen and all this toxic shit. But yeah, honestly, do not let anyone, especially your parents, tell you what you can and can't do, because I remember learning that, man, and I realized if you really believe in yourself, you can do a lot more than what your family thinks you can. But it was when I was around like 20 years old, I realized that most jobs are actually underpaid, because I remember hearing about the IT jobs for IT, like front desk and everything. And I looked at some of the entry level shit and some of the certification level shit. And I remember looking at some of the certification level jobs when I was like 18, 19, thinking that 15 bucks an hour after a certification was a lot starting. Like, yeah, back in 2016, maybe 15 bucks an hour was a decent amount. But looking back, I'm like, holy fuck, man, that's like a ripoff, dude. Not even like $50,000 a year, because I was not doing the math of like the hourly wages and stuff yearly. Because when stuff gets advertised as a hourly wage, most people don't think about the yearly wage, and a lot of people don't also think about that the hourly wage you get is actually before tax. So what you get after on your paychecks is not before tax. So after tax, you're getting quite a bit less. So for example, 15 bucks an hour is more like fucking, like 13 to 12.50 bucks an hour after tax. And that's not a good feeling when you realize, holy fuck, I got scammed. Nowadays, I'm not too worried about like how much I make at a job now because I just want to fucking grow a channel and just work for myself. And I actually enjoy talking to everybody on here on this YouTube channel. I very much enjoy interacting with the community on here and everything. And I feel the most happy by just being myself at peace, you know? Because at the end of the day, man, these goddamn companies don't give a shit about most of us and stuff. And I feel like to be really at peace is either starting something or, you know, just fucking find a inner escape where you can help escape from this horrible ass reality. But despite everything going down the shitter and around the world and everything, is that I am pretty content and happy where I'm at right now with my life. I do have a very decent, strict budget of spending I do, so I do not spend a whole lot. And I do save some decent amount of money now, and working a couple jobs I do, and the other two jobs are very manageable with my own like time and everything, as in like don't have to be scheduled by somebody else. And that makes it a whole lot easier because when you're working other gigs and stuff, it really does help. And yes, YouTube is kind of one of my gigs I do as a hobby. That's kind of into a passion project that I make a little bit of side money from. It's actually really cool to see something like this from childhood turn into somewhat a reality. I may not be the biggest guy in the world or nothing, but I'm just super grateful that stuff like this has even happened to me. And the algorithm helped push my stuff out too and kind of get to understand how it actually works a little bit. At the end of the day, guys, a job is not going to make us a millionaire, unfortunately, but you can be well off for a job for a while. So use it as a tool for you to escape, to pursue what you want to do, or manage your time very precisely, and also use that job to kind of get you what you want in the future, like I said. It's very important that you try your best way to escape from this reality because a lot of us don't even get to try, and the fact that I'm even trying is actually worth it because it does give me some type of goal and purpose outside of just, you know, trying to escape by watching TV or playing video games or doing whatever the fuck I usually do. It just depends on the day, I think. Being an adult is like coming to realize a lot of things that you did not know as a kid into reality. And it's really a sad thing at first, man, but once you kind of understand how everything works, you kind of learn how to manage it properly and try to see what you can and not do within the system, if that makes sense. Anyways, everybody, thank you all for hearing me out on this. What's your guys' thoughts about getting underpaid at a job, you know? Like, if you guys have any type of situations where you could describe something, feel free to describe it in the comment section below because I would love to hear it and everything and shit. Man, I've seen a lot of people get scammed and screwed over for being loyal at a job too, by the way. Because I remember meeting people like at the grocery store years later, surprised that they're still working there. They're still making like $12 an hour, or like, you know, nowadays probably like 15. Like, damn, because they only got a raise because, you know, of inflation and shit. Also, I don't know about y'all, but like here in March, man, it's actually snowing again, and I'm kind of sick of it, you know, because when I think of March, I think of spring, not another damn winter. And my girlfriend and I went to the fucking grocery store to kind of get some stuff, you know, and I come out and get blown in the face by another blizzard warning after it was literally just like barely raining like this afternoon and everything. I'm just like, man, give us a break. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, everybody, I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace out.